I woke up in a new Bugatti. 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 Hold on, we the boys. Now get this work. Hold on, we the boys.
Hey, what's up guys? So I am officially 12 weeks out. It is Sunday, May 21st. I'm always so bad with the date. My plan got updated Friday, so we are going to be doing that. I started yesterday. I am having a cheat meal tonight, so it's a little bit different. But I wanted to take the time in this video to talk about cheat meals, what the benefit of them are, and why a lot of bodybuilders do them. So I'll be filming my cheat meal tonight. I'm super excited about that. Just placed my order, should be here soon. I'm going to put some pictures in. I forgot to do that last time. I'm going to put my pictures in and then I will show you my cheat meal and I'll give you guys more of an update tomorrow. Cool. Just want to put out a disclaimer. Not all that food is for me. Ryan is having some of it. I'm just eating till I'm full and then I stop. Hey guys, so I wanted to come on here and talk about cheat meals today, how they work, what the point of them is, why everybody is obsessed with them, the negatives, the positives, all of that. So to start, what is a cheat meal? So a cheat meal is essentially a moment for a high caloric intake in a diet. So now with bodybuilding, a lot of people, some people follow if it fits your macros. If it fits your macros is basically you get your set amount of carbs, so the number of grams of carbs, number of grams of protein, number of grams of fat that you are allowed to have in a day, and then you fill in the blanks. So if you want 21 grams of carbs, that can come from a piece of fruit, that can come from a potato, that can come from a cookie. A lot of people do like to use if it fits your macros because it gives you balance in life. But with if it fits your macros, a lot of the times people are getting more sodium than they realize. But you can still have a benefit of a cheat meal in a sense when you're on if it fits your macros. Generally that just means instead of, say you're getting 150 grams of carbs a day and 80 grams of fat a day, on one day you're going to be able to have 300 grams of carbs and 150 grams of fat for that day. So then they will then add in more food, more volume. Works exactly the same way. Similarly, people will have what are called refeed days, very similar to cheat meal. Again, exact same concept, except the difference is with refeed days that it's all calculated out. So generally they'll manipulate fats or carbs depending on what someone's body is more sensitive to. Those are usually closer to the end of prep when it is very important that your body doesn't spill over. The reason for a refeed and the control is because that way your body generally won't spill over from too much of a caloric intake. Whereas if a cheat meal, you can kind of go crazy and take in too much and it might affect you negatively. So that is really the concept. What a cheat meal is just a large amount of calories consumed in one sitting. Now, what's the point of a cheat meal? A cheat meal is going to do quite a few things for you. I'm first going to talk about why someone would need a cheat meal. So when it comes to fat loss and dieting, your body, you're in a caloric deficit, obviously. That's how you lose fat, that's how you lose weight. So when you're in that for a long period of time, slowly your metabolism is slowly going like this, slowly declining, slowly slowing down. So if you get to a point where it's too slow, your body is going to go into starvation mode. It's going to refuse to lose weight, it's going to keep as much fat on your body as possible, and it sometimes eats into muscle. Three things that are definitely a huge no-no when it comes to bodybuilding, but also in real life. Fat loss is never easy, and no matter who is doing it, they deserve a huge pat on the back because it's really tough on you mentally, it's really tough on you physically, and regardless if you need to lose 30 pounds and you've never been in a gym before, or you are a professional bodybuilder, it is still just as tough. That being said, if you have an excess amount of fat to burn, your body is more adaptable and going to be able to burn that fat, versus a bodybuilder who's off season should be a healthy amount of body fat. It shouldn't be anything, overboard, because usually diets are around 12 to 16 weeks. So you only have time to lose that 12 to 15 pounds of body fat that is hiding your muscles, because we're trying to get down to the lowest body fat possible. So I have a client, and she just lost about 50 pounds. So we started it. She was completely new to the gym. Well, she hadn't worked out in a couple of years. So we started with cardio, diet, and weight training, and she was losing weight, but we did hit a few roadblocks in the diet for her, because she was trying to completely reshape her diet. I generally don't want to put someone, if someone is eating in a caloric surplus and someone's eating a lot of junk food all the time and eating out all the time and things like that, the most important thing for them is to switch focus into a whole new healthy mindset of eating healthy and eating properly. So giving them a cheat meal isn't something I like to do, because then it's kind of going to feed the cravings, which is the psychological side of cheat meals I will talk about in a bit. So she hit a plateau, and she didn't really know, hey, I haven't been losing weight in a couple of weeks now, I'm stuck at 1 pound. And I told her, go out, have a cheat meal, have whatever you want, just go enjoy food for the weekend. And she was like, isn't that going to ruin my progress? Aren't I going to put on 5 pounds? And I was like, no, go out, enjoy yourself. I mean, don't go crazy, don't go eating ice cream and burgers for every single meal, but eat whatever you want, eat as much as you want, eat till you're full, and enjoy. Don't focus on eating diet food or eating healthy. And she did that, and then we talked Monday morning, and she was like, I lost 2 pounds. How is this possible? How did I go from eating really healthy and dieting and staying really on track to eating, whatever I wanted all weekend, and then how did I lose 2 pounds? And this is the whole concept of a cheat meal. That is the whole point of a cheat meal. That's what you want to achieve with a cheat meal. A cheat meal isn't meant for you've been working really hard, you deserve a break. That isn't the point of a cheat meal. The cheat meal is a tool used to help progress you further. And the reason being is your metabolism. When you're starving, your body responds. Your body thinks, gee, I'm not getting any food. I better slow this metabolism down. I better hold on to that body fat in case I don't get any more food. And it will slowly, that's why we have to drop our calories consistently in a diet, because we keep having to readjust, because your metabolism readjusts as it goes down. It's the same as like walking. If you walk, say, 5K every day, at some point 5K is going to be easy. So you have to then change it to 6K, to 7K, and 8K. Same thing with the diet. But what happens is if your metabolism gets too slow, you're not going to progress anymore no matter what you do. So to combat that, a cheat meal is going to rev your metabolism up again. Your body's going to take all that food, because it's in starvation mode, and try and use it and store it as best as it can. And while it's doing all that, your metabolism is going to work faster, and you're generally going to lose a couple pounds that you're holding on to. So if you're going to do a cheat meal properly, the most important thing is you need to listen to your body, and you can't just eat and eat and eat until you're sick. You sit down, you eat whatever you want, that's fine, but you eat till you're full, and then you need to stop, because if you eat past your fullness, that's when you're going to get into spilling over the amount of food you're eating. So it's not as much as go out and eat 10 hamburgers and binge and binge. It is not 100% not a binging session. It is used as a meal replacement. So you eat until you feel full, and then you stop, and that's it. That's the end of the cheat meal. So really keep that in mind if you're having a cheat meal, because if you are ending up in a binging state, then that is an eating disorder, and you definitely should look into that. When it comes to the bodybuilding world, the cheat meal is used because of this precious balance between fat loss and muscle loss. When you're in a caloric deficit, you lose weight. And we would like to hope that it is all 100% fat, and it's not. It's water, it is your glycogen stores, and it is fat. But if you go cut your calories too fast, you're actually going to end up burning muscle, which is the last thing that a bodybuilder wants. The whole concept of dieting for a bodybuilding show is to cut as much fat as possible while preserving as much muscle as possible and making your muscles look full. For those of us who are natural athletes, this is a very difficult juggling act. So you do need a cheat meal once in a while because it's going to help. That's all going to go to your muscles. When you're in a deficit, your body is pull out the glycogen stored in your muscles, the water stored in your muscles, the energy in your body. So a cheat meal is going to replenish all of that. It's the same how we always say make sure you get a good amount of carbs after the gym. The whole point is to replenish your glycogen stores so that your muscles can stay in an anabolic state. A cheat meal is going to help you stay in an anabolic state because that influx of calories is going to go to your muscles. It's going to put fullness back in your muscles. It's going to help with muscle repair, and it's going to help make your body and your metabolism kind of rev up again. So when you start the following week or however long you go back into your diet for, your body is more adept and ready to respond to that. So that's kind of how the concept of a cheat meal works. Now I wanted to talk about like the pros and cons about a cheat meal. So obviously the pros I just laid out. It should, if done properly, it should rev up your metabolism, help with your weight loss, help preserve muscle, improve your mood. I mean, it's going to make you, it's going to taste delicious too. It's definitely going to benefit you mentally as well. So that's why, you know, I mean, I diet all week. I mean, the same thing every single day, and then I have a cheat meal where I can eat whatever I want and I can enjoy food for one meal. Now I wanted to talk about the negatives of cheat meals. The big negative of cheat meal is actually psychologically. Physiologically, if you're dieting and doing things properly, a cheat meal shouldn't have any negative side effects. The only negative side effect would be if your body didn't actually need a cheat meal and you end up spilling over and getting a little watery and putting on maybe a little bit of fat instead of the reverse happening. But as long as you're doing it with a coach and you're doing it properly, then you shouldn't have any issues with a free feed or a cheat meal. Now, I talked about earlier when I talked with lifestyle clients who completely need to restart their diet and learn how to eat healthy and things like that. A cheat meal can be negative for them because a cheat meal generally can, for most people when they have a cheat meal, not all, but most people are reaching for the high fat, the high sodium, the high carb, the high sugar foods. All of these things are delicious and great and they will benefit you, but psychologically, if you have high cravings and you have food addiction and things like that, having all of that food after dieting is only going to make the cravings worse. It's only going to make you want more food. So you really have to be in a healthy mindset. And then I touched on before about eating until you're full. A cheat meal can really encourage binge eating as well. So it's a bad thing for that too. So if you are exposed to eating disorders or if you have issues with food, a cheat meal can actually cause you to have a binge eating disorder or really crave too much sugar or fats or things like that where you can't stop eating. So for people who kind of fall into the negative side, you really do have to have a really good relationship with food to be able to successfully have a cheat meal. For me, I had a cheat meal last night. I had pizza, I had donuts, and it was delicious. But today I don't have any cravings. I have no urge to go have something sugary. I have no urge to cheat on my diet again. I use that cheat meal. I enjoy that cheat meal. And now I'm back to my regular scheduled food. And I have to eat that because I need to reach my goals. And I'm able to eat that because to me, the way I see food is my fuel, my source of energy for my bodily functions, for working out in the gym, for getting myself to my show ready physique. It's not there to really enjoy, to be more of a satisfaction. Of course, I feel satisfied when I'm hungry because I'm hungry, but it's not there for cravings. It's not there to give me a sugar high. It's not there for anything like that. So you really do have to have that good relationship with food, recognizing that eating food is not for indulging, and indulging in food is 100% okay, and you need balance in your life. And obviously I'm not doing this year round. I'm doing this for 16 weeks for a extreme sport, but for those that are, and then those who that are in a lifestyle who have switched their diet over to eating healthy. So when you've got to a point where you're not having cravings for sugar anymore, and you're eating healthy, and you're exercising regularly, and you've completely transformed your diet to where it should be versus eating unhealthy, then enjoying once in a blue moon, enjoying a burger, adding more flavors into your food, things like that. You should definitely do that. Indulge in the flavors of foods you like, indulge in the types of foods you like. Just do it in a moderate way that's not going to cause negative effects on your health. So that pretty much sums up everything there is to do with cheat meals. They are intended as a refeed. Refeeds I'll go into a little bit. So I already talked through the concept of a refeed. Refeeds are a great alternative to a cheat meal, just increasing the amount of calories, especially if someone's very hungry when they're on a diet, things like that. Instead of saying, yeah, go eat whatever you want, have a freebie, what you can do is, say you allow yourself to have a cup of rice, say you have a cup of rice with your meal. Instead of having 1 cup of rice, increase it to 2 cups of rice that meal. Say you have, half an avocado before bed, then you would be able to have a full avocado before bed. Small things like that, just increasing that way, so your body will get a higher amount of calories to then do the same thing that a cheat meal would do. I encourage you guys to try out cheat meals if you are dieting or planning on dieting. One thing that you should note though, for a cheat meal to actually work, you need to be dieting, and you need to be dieting consistently. If you've been on a diet for 2 days, a cheat meal isn't going to make you lose weight at all. If you have been dieting for a week or 2 weeks or 10 days, and you're starting to feel tired and sluggish and having out of control cravings, then a cheat meal will work. It will be beneficial for you. Make sure your cheat meal is deserved, and make sure you're doing it properly, and you should have great results from it. Alright, so just an update for this week. So I'm officially 12 weeks out. I have started a carb cycle / fat cycle. So I do 2 high fat, low carb days and 1 high carb, low fat days. So all in all, both days my calories are around 2,300 down from 2,400. Macros, there's not really a huge point to get into macros. I consistently eat about 160 grams of protein a day. And then obviously on my high carb, low fat, my macros are going to be different than my high fat, low carb. There's no point really going into exact macros, because there's no point for anyone to follow my macros. They're specifically for me. I do have a higher metabolism than most, so my calories are generally higher than most, and my carbs are quite high. But that's what works for me, so that's what I've been doing. I noticed though, after I have my cheat meals, I feel extremely tired, which I think is because after replenishing my body's like, oh, I can breathe, I feel much better. So then it just wants me to sleep forever. I slept like 12 hours last night, and I'll probably sleep forever tonight as well. I'm super tired despite sleeping 12 hours, which means that my body is tired. Your body does get very tired from dieting, so you do need to sleep more to help recover, especially if you're working hard in the gym. That does take a lot out of you. So if you're dieting or if you're on prep, try to sleep as much as you can, because it definitely will help. So that'll be it for my prep update video. I know it's a little shorter today, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Keep that constant tension.